Shailesh Haribhakti, Chairman of Haribhakti and Company, joining us. Shailesh, what do you make of this? The RBI saying, it red flagged, it passed it on to other authorities, it couldn't do more, it doesn't have the power. But I find that very difficult to believe when you look at what it did with two other chief executive officers of two other private banks, Shikhar Sharma and Rana Kapoor.
Well, I think we should all operate from a sense of respect for the regulator. And my personal view is that our attention should now move to protecting the interest of depositors and investors. And therefore, the real need seems to be to clean up everything that needs cleaning up. And whatever it takes to do that should be done. We should now stop talking about individuals, personalities, and all of that. Those will be taken care of by the efficient way in which these investigations will be brought to a close. And we have seen that there is complete honesty and transparency in the way investigations were done. Particularly, I would commend the panel under Justice Sri Krishna's leadership. So I think we should now start focusing on how do we protect the interest of the depositor. And to my mind, the shining thought that comes up is that we need to protect the institution of the bank. It is the second largest private bank in the country. So many depositors and so many investors have their economic interest tied into it. We need to make sure that very competent governance, board practices, systems, processes, and all of that must take charge, and leadership has to be in place to make sure that nothing comes in the way of affecting the interest of depositors and investors. In the meantime, let the entire process of investigation to bring out whatever needs to be brought out be carried out as efficiently as we have seen some of these things happen. And then let the punishment be meted out in which is commensurate with the crime committed.
You don't want to get into personalities. I accept that point. Shailesh Haribhakti, you don't want to get into personalities. I take your point. I respect it. Having said that, you're talking about depositors being safe. My bigger question, of course, is you've got ICICI Bank also listed as ADRs. There's nothing that can stop class action suits being brought against ICICI Bank.
Absolutely.
Look at what the Justice Sri Krishna report, which we already know from ICICI's point of view, what is informed the stock exchanges, has to say. I don't think a full trial can be ruled out. I don't see how we can rule out the fact that investigative agencies will not be looking into some other accounts. You've already been hearing rumblings in the media what this is to do with the SR loans, a loan to a sugar company. So, I think there is clearly trouble that lies ahead. So having said that, while you may not want to talk about personalities, how can we not do that? You had the board chairman, which was protecting and coming solidly in defense of Chanda Kochhar, who has now been sacked. She has to return. The clawback of bonuses is taking place. There is clearly a road ahead, which is going to be troublesome. And from a depositor's point of view, of course, there are going to be a concerned lot. We don't know what's going to be the future of this bank.
Correct. Therefore, I'm saying let whoever needs to be brought to book be brought to book through the due process of law and through the due process of the bank. And let us get on with making sure that the current operations are carried on with efficiency, transparency, integrity, and in a way that will redound to the benefit of investors and depositors. That is actually the point I'm making, and I thank you for respecting my point of view that let's not talk about individuals. Let's talk about how do you save the institution. Let whoever is guilty be punished through the process of law. I don't hold a candle for anybody.
I take that point, and I do respect your point of view, and I look forward to more interactions with you on this ICICI issue in a very sound reasoning that is coming there. What's happened is happened. Let the guilty be punished, but we must protect India's second largest private bank as well, and at the interest of depositors and the banking landscape at large. Shailesh Haribhakti, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks so much for joining us here on Markets at Noon.